take charge of these things, which I'm getting.
First off, what is composting? Composting is a process in which organic waste, basically your discarded fruits, vegetables, grass clippings, and any other quickly biodegradable matter, is collected in one location where decomposers can do their work quickly, creating natural fertilizers that encourage plant growth. It is a far better option than throwing food waste away, where it will wind up in a landfill, contributing to environmental problems.
Pollution and climate change. One major environmental issue that contributes to if composting isn't available is pollution. Pollution is the incorrect disposal of something that can create harmful and perhaps toxic effects on the environment. Pollution contributes to climate change, which is greatly harming our planet. Toxic chemicals and trash seep, entangling and getting ingested by sea animals, diminishing the quality of our drinking and swimming water, killing sea life, and creating massive piles of trash that float around the ocean. Humans have fairly recently started using plastic as a way to create short-lasting items instead of making long-lasting items that don't harm the earth for us. Single-use disposable plastic may be convenient for us, but can cause great damage to the earth. 14 million tons of plastic go into the oceans each year, harming marine life. And by 2050, the Earth's temperature will have raised 2.7 degrees, in some part because of our careless use of disposable plastic.
As mentioned before, composting can help prevent food waste from reaching landfills, as well as possibly reducing the amount of plastic used through the creation of compostable utensils and other plastic goods. Compostable plastics are ones that are made of natural materials, starches, and cellulose. They're still a type of plastic, but because they're made from natural materials that are found in agriculture, they are known as bioplastics. Due to the recent invention of biodegradable plastics, compostable utensils have been designed. Compostable utensils are a great way to still use single-use utensils, but without the waste and adding to a landfill. As composting is becoming more popular, brands are starting to use compostable materials to make clothes, utensils, and other items.
Unfortunately, compostable utensils require a different process to break down than organic waste. As compostable doesn't mean you can just throw it on the ground and it will just disappear. Yeah. Even when thrown in a compost bin, compostable materials don't go away when simply dissolving or making compostable utensils effectively useless when composting at home. It takes over 200 degrees Fahrenheit to compost a utensil, but only 90 to 40 to 140 degrees for food scraps. This makes it hard for compostable I was going to say faculties here. Compostable facilities to compost utensils. For example, in Vermont, when there are 19 compostable facilities, but only 2 of them accept the utensils. Sadly, many compostable plastics eventually wind up in landfills because many composting facilities don't have the proper infrastructure to properly compost them. Hopefully, our project will make it possible for the composting of compostable plastics to occur on a more accessible scale.
That was a tough speech he gave.
Yeah.
In addition to issues with the process of composting bioplastics, there are also issues with compost collection at large. When our group walked around the UVM campus, we noticed a lack of compost bins. In the Davis Center, for example, there were numerous areas with trash cans and recycling bins, but as for compost, all there were signs saying that composting was available elsewhere. In part because of what we saw at UVM, and in part because compost bins are rare wherever you go, our group designed a compost bin that could be implemented at UVM or on a wider scale, wherever compostable materials are commonplace. Our compost bin, which we 3D printed, our compost bin, which we 3D printed a prototype of, has 2 compartments, one for organic waste and one for bioplastics, as they need to remain separate. The bin itself could be made of bioplastics so that they could be created sustainably. Upon collection, they could be brought to processing facilities to be repurposed and returned to local farmers.
Eva's beautiful.
She does.
Another solution for composting at UVM and beyond is to prototype and create a machine to break down the bioplastics. This machine would likely be solar powered and armed with a mechanical arm to stir the plastics as they break down. It may be expensive, but it would definitely be an important step to take to reduce waste and make bioplastics more worthwhile.
We believe in contributing to a brighter future for the human race, and a way that we can achieve this is by promoting publicly accessible compost and make it possible for bioplastics to actually serve their purpose instead of being discarded like other trash. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
We've got a couple minutes. Judges, do you have any questions?
So that the idea is.
I thought Eva was painting something.
Oh yeah, so this is a smaller, can I have the mic? I'm probably loud enough, but this is a smaller design, like it's a prototype. The bigger version would be used for collection of both compostable plastics and regular compostable materials like plants and stuff. And they would be available anywhere where people would like to be composting, where there is compostable utensils and a lot of food waste, so that they could then be brought to processing facilities so that the compost could be composted.
I can figure that out. I don't struggle with that all the time. They're getting too many choices for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll just be alongside the trash can and the recycling bin. It'll be labeled compost. Each compartment will also be labeled. It'll be convenient.
I thought it was muted.
Wonderful idea, but once it's in place, how do you, any of you have ideas on how to educate, know about this and to change?
I think just making them very widely accessible. So every time they see a trash can or recycling bin, there's also a compost bin right next to it. So they don't really have to think about, I need to find a compost bin after they eat something. It's just there where you would normally throw out your trash. It's already there. So you don't really have to wonder.
I think we have time for one audience question.
That's a
Intended for students to actually be part of it and help with like bringing stuff in, and also there's some questions to that. So there are two. So when you're dumping stuff, how do you ensure that one does not mix?
Okay, so the compartments could be separate within the bin so that they could be removed from the bin itself, and the bin is just there for collection. Then in a processing facility, which there are like 19, as we mentioned in Vermont, they could then take the compartments out, divide them, dump them, put them back in the bin, send the bin back. As for there being enough collection, there might not be, and more composting facilities is probably something that's necessary, but it might be difficult to implement.
Thank you so much.